Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Music Den. I'm your host, Armando Venditti. Hoping you guys are having a good day. Ladies and gentlemen, Jim Bricker and I are back with another episode of Live Album Spotlight. This is another
Indeed.
good episode. First of all, Jim, how are you doing?
Oh, fan bloody tastic, sir.
There
And
you
you?
go. Oh, just peachy. Just peachy. Got my
Good man.
coffee. I got my coffee. I'm good to go. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said, we are back with Live Album Spotlight, the second of two. And we are going to be talking about this bad boy right here.
Oh, yes.
Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention, Cheaper Than Cheap. This has a bit of a story to it. This was released through the Zappa online store. I do believe it was May when I got my copy. It is now being released on, by the time this airs, it would have been released on Amazon on June 27th. I paid, with the rate of exchange living in Canada, I paid $109 for my
Did you now?
package, for the package. Two
Okay.
CDs, one Blu-ray of, of this concert. And on Amazon, you can get it for as low as $67. So I learned my lesson. I jumped the gun. I shouldn't have. I paid too much. Moral of the story is wait for the deals. Okay? Now,
But
um,
sometimes, and I just have to say, in dealing with these archival releases from the Zappa Family Trust,
yes,
sometimes if you wait too long, you can get burned and miss the boat entirely. And
true
then
enough.
you're paying aftermarket prices for things.
True enough. And
Um,
in the case of
so
cheap, in the case of cheaper than cheap, there was this rumor going around that it was only going to be released through the through the Zappa official site, and Amazon and other outlets were not going to be able to touch it. But you know what? It pays to be aware and just keep on the lookout, and you never know, you'll get a good deal, every once in a while. Now, this album has been released in vinyl format and double CD and Blu-ray format. Again, it is a digipack release. Again, I will show you my copy of it here. Just a moment. And again,
And this does not conform to the ideal digipack format as preferred by Mr. Venditti. Just have to say that.
forgive my stubby fingers, but there you go. And the booklet is in this pocket, and the rest of the CDs are in the rest of the pockets. And I've said before, this is not my ideal version of Digipacks because every single time that I have had one of these, whenever I've tried to pull out a disc, I either rip my fingers apart or with hangnails and stuff, or I've ripped the sleeves of the pack. So either way, something gets damaged. So it's not the ideal way. Now, this concert was an unreleased uh, made for TV concert that was recorded in 1974. And the concert was recorded at the Mother's Private Rehearsal Hall. And this is also released in Dolby Atmos. This version of it. There's 25 songs in this collection, runs the gamut. In the band, this is considered to be the classic lineup of the Mothers of Invention. Ruth Underwood, Tom Fowler, who recently passed away. Rest in peace, Tom Fowler. On bass, Ruth Underwood on vibraphone and percussion. Chester Thompson on drums, various percussion. George Duke on keyboards. Jeff Simmons on guitar, and Napoleon Murphy Brock on lead vocals and saxophone, and various tantrums on stage. If you've seen the show, you know what I'm talking about. And of course, the one and only Frank Zappa on guitars and leader of the mayhem and debauchery that goes forth. This is basically recorded in front of a live studio audience, okay? Very
Yep.
select few that are in the rehearsal space. Fantastic concert myself, but I'll give my opinion of it after Mr. Bricker gives his opinion of it. Please do.
Okay, so just a slight edit to what you were saying. I think that across 73 and 74, a lot of people do consider it to be like the height of the powers of Zappa and the Mothers of Invention. Probably want to include Ralph Humphrey on drums, although Ralph had left the band by the point that this was recorded.
That's right.
Um,
That's right.
Ralph is usually part of that double, the
The
triple
the
percussion
drum,
attack
the drum. Yeah,
between
yeah.
Humphrey and Chester Thompson and Ruth Underwood.
Yes, right.
Um,
Sorry. And also Bruce Fowler um,
yes, Bruce
on
Fowler on
on um,
trombone.
on trombone. That's right. I said double.
Yeah,
Sorry,
thank you.
on double drums. So you would have um, Ralph Humphreys and Chester Thompson on drums. Um, Beautifully executed when he was with the band. I
Oh,
wasn't sure. Didn't know that he left the band at that point, Ralph Humphreys. Okay.
yeah, I think he was a little, according to a recent Andy Edwards video, Ralph was really not too happy that Frank had brought in Chester for a double drumming thing. I think Ralph took that as a personal affront, and so he sounds like he left the band not long after that. Um, Sonically, I think having Ralph and Chester in there are just mind blowing, especially when you've got Ruth Underwood as well, and all that's captured in the Roxy era stuff, whether it's Roxy and Elsewhere, the Roxy performances, or Roxy the movie. But in general, yeah, the 73 74 Zappa is well represented, not only in this release that we were talking about, the Roxy stuff, but also very much in the Apostrophe box that came out late last year, where it's
Yeah.
got just about two full shows, also from 1974.
Yeah.
Um,
I have that
so
box.
it's
Yeah.
an embarrassment of riches in Zappa world. But
Yeah.
for this, for cheaper than cheap, um, I'm I'm kind of mixed on this release, frankly, as a 74 Zappa fan. The things I like about it are really kind of all geared toward the Blu-ray because it's just so great to see Frank just jam in the last quarter of the show. He's just playing guitar like nobody's business. um Stretching, more trouble every day, which usually lasts around 5 minutes or so, but this is an 11-minute take on this release where he's
Mhm.
just digging in and going for it. And it's great to see him conduct the band, in terms of stretching things out, in terms of keeping them on, time. Just, the way that he conducts is just, very fun to watch. He'll
Yeah.
take his hair and like pull it out when he wants the band to kind of stretch a piece a little bit,
Yeah.
or he'll just, do sort of the typical, this kind of thing where he really wants them to play more quiet. And it's just so fun to watch him do that, because then you can kind of see how they were able to achieve a lot of this stuff live
Hmm.
on top of just the insane amount of rehearsal that they had to do to pull this stuff off. So to me, that is like the biggest joy from this, is seeing Zappa in his conducting mode, see him just burn through his guitar. Um, the in general, the thing about Cheaper Than Cheap, there's kind of like two big things that make me a little wrinkly on it. One is that even though the band is great, they're great. I
Yeah.
feel that they are greater on um, Roxy the movie,
Hmm.
which is where did I go? There I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of a companion piece that was released in the early 2010s.
Yeah.
Um, and then, of course, the Roxy and Elsewhere album, and then the DVD and audio release of A Token of My Extreme. The band is just there. I want to say hotter, but the problem is one of the problems is with this Cheaper Than Cheap is that the band was too hot. The rehearsal space that they have at Sunset Sound
Yeah,
was or on Sunset Boulevard, excuse me, was
yeah,
so small and so poorly ventilated, and
yeah.
they had so many lights in there to pull off what they wanted to do for, Frank's little version of, Don Kirshner's rock concert.
Hmm.
It just became a slog for the band to work through. And I
Yeah,
think you hear that a little bit in the performances if you're attuned to it. And because I'm so attuned to all these other releases and periods within Zappa, I can kind of tell when they're just not quite as tight as they are in some of these other releases. Now, for someone who is like brand new and wants a Zappa experience, you know, Cheaper Than Cheap is a pretty good place to start because you get the audio and you get the visual as well.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I think and you get some of the classic tunes around this time. Redunzel to Mercy Deween, the Dog Meat medley. Um, their version of Apostrophe that's on here is just a barn burner. Um, and like I said, More Trouble Every Day. It's just great to see Frank stretch out on that solo. Um, the other thing about this release is that there's CD2 starts off with 5 tunes from, I'll call it, the old Mothers of Invention days
yeah,
from the early 60s. And it's a lot more song based. And, sometimes it's, sometimes their takes on doo-wop, sometimes their takes on just, pop love songs or blues or whatever. How could I be such a fool? Wowie zowie. Let's make the water turn black, or just three of the five that are in there that are they're just not. I would say that they just don't demonstrate what this Zappa band was capable of.
hmm,
And it's interesting to me that they're kind of in there. I don't know why they're in there. Are they a palate cleanser? Are they, something that Frank was performing live? Did he want to give his band a break? I mean, I'm not sure why the focus is on these tunes rather than other ones that they were, kind of doing at the time, things that have
yeah,
been
yeah.
kind of road tested. Um, one more comment and then I'll shut up,
No,
Armando.
no, 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 no. You don't need to shut up. You're doing good because I wanted to go on what you were talking about, build on that. So go
Um,
ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, so the last comment I have in here is that kind of relative to what this band's core competency is, they do have a version in the extras of A Kid in His Arf of You, which is, kind of like prime Zappa from this area. Um, but again, the band was just a little bit off, and the take kind of got cut before before they could complete it. So it
Yeah,
didn't make the proper show, but at least it's great to have it as sort of like DVD or Blu-ray bonus material.
that's right.
But for me, as far as, the Zappa completist, I would put this kind of as a um, below the Token of My Extreme, Roxy the movie, and below what you get with the Zappa apostrophe box, um,
Yeah, that's a
with
hell
its
of a
with its two full
box.
shows there.
Yeah.
Yes, and there is an episode I believe you did on reviewing the apostrophe box, right?
Yes, yes, I did. And I want to thank everybody for watching it. Because it's a hell of a box. No,
Uh-huh.
I agree with what you're saying. I watched this. I liked it.
Hmm.
Is it their best? I'm not a Zappa expert, but from what I've seen, no. Uh,
Yeah.
there was a point where he left the rehearsal space and went next door to a workshop that they, like that they were working on some claymation, ideas
Hmm.
for shooting the album cover, uh, like adverts for the for a new album that they were doing. And Frank is asking, okay, what does this do? What is this for? And you see a bird pooping, okay,
Yes.
as they're talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, do I need to see this? Fuck no. I don't need to see this. No, I don't need to see it. I don't need to see that shit. Literally, that shit.
Yes.
To me, it took away from the performance.
Hmm.
It turned it into there's a show here. There was a show here in Canada called Romper Room for children. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
children's television. Uh, that's what it kind of turned it into for me. The music when they
Hmm.
were performing was good for me. Um, but that part I didn't need to see. And in terms of the music, they would go into such they would go into like these stretches of medleys where they would go in from one song to another. Where if I'm not as a fan or as a newbie am familiar with or somewhat of a newbie, familiar with these these songs like Wowie Zowie or I'm Not Satisfied, I didn't know where they were going. I had to keep looking at my album cover, like disc cover, to see, okay, we're in this song now, because they were just
Yeah.
going through so many different changes that I didn't know what they were doing, what they were performing. So
Sure. Yeah.
I needed to be more in tune as to what the songs were. Uh, I mean, but they wanted to experiment, and obviously that's their choice. But for me, I just didn't know what the hell they were doing.
Yeah.
Um, you know, yes, they did do a fantastic version of Apostrophe, co-written by Jack Bruce of Cream.
Yep.
Um, but and you know, again, like for example, like pieces like Son of Orange County. I didn't know what where that was in the set, and then I realized, okay, now they're going into More Trouble Every Day. That's when I realized, okay, we're past Son of Orange County, now we're into this song. Do you know what I mean? Like
Right.
I couldn't differentiate between the songs on some level
Hmm.
at a certain point. Sorry, but it is what it is. Obviously, the
And
state.
that's part of the, the wonder of Zappa is that he's able to sort of put so many of these pieces together, and his band is powerful and well rehearsed enough live to make it appear seamless going from one song to another, that it's really, unless you're a seasoned Zappa listener and you've got, all the song credits for where things begin and end and whatnot,
Yeah,
sometimes it is hard to know, where things are at. I mean, on this one, it goes from "Oh No" to "Son of Orange County" to "More Trouble Every Day." I even forgot "Oh No." Well, I heard "Oh No," as part of it, and then I even forgot "Son of Orange County" was included in there. I thought, huh, that's odd. It went from "Oh No" straight into "More Trouble Every Day." Usually there's "Son of Orange County," but then I forgot, oh yeah, "Son of Orange County" is in there because of this lyrical snippet that I'd forgotten
yeah,
about. So
yeah.
it's hard to keep track with Frank.
Whereas for me, okay, Penguin and Bondage, won't even go there.
Yes.
I knew obviously I knew that, but then they segued into uh, Tamershi Dween and the Dog Breath Variations, Uncle Meat. I mean, I heard the Dog Breath Variations on Roxy the movie, and so I knew what it was, but I was waiting for them to stop and go into it. You know what I mean? Like do one song, and then go into another one. I didn't think that they were gonna just do like a medley of it,
Yeah.
like from one to another. I didn't know that. So, but in terms of, I will agree with you. For me, in terms of the performances between this and the Roxy the movie has it hands down.
Right.
To me, that is where the band were on fire.
It's
Um,
also where you have, the addition of Bruce Fowler on trombone and
and Ralph Humphreys on
Ralph Humphrey
drums.
on the other
Yeah,
drum kit. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And being I won't even go there. There was a little bit of a joke, but I'm not going to go there. It's too much right now. Uh, well,
Okay.
no. Okay, I shouldn't have said it, but at the end of the show, you've got the groupies on stage.
Yes, as you do.
And of course, Frank is hugging one of them, and dancing with one of them and hugging them. And Frank, he was a ladies' man and he was a self-professed ladies' man, unapologetically so.
Yep.
And at
Sorry,
one point,
Gail.
yes, yes, rest in peace, both. At one point, he's hugging one of them and he's looking at the camera and he's smiling. And it's almost like he's saying, Gail, I'm on my way home. Go to the doctor, go get some antibiotics, because something's going to happen.
Get some penicillin. Yeah.
Yeah, or something. I got the clap, whatever. It, it, it was well known that he, you know, would cheat on Gail, and he did it all the time. And he said it. She doesn't, and she wouldn't like that he did it, but he did it anyway. Because according to him, he was a man and he needed sex. So there you go. But you know, um, but I'm just saying, getting back to the root of the conversation, the performances on this are good. I
Hmm.
just I get what you're saying about being in such a tight, close space. Because at one point near the end of the show, he's trying to get the audience involved, right? And
Yes.
they're not really, I mean, they're into it,
Hmm.
but they're not up on their feet and really getting into it. So there's a guy up front that is like clapping along and he's trying to get everyone into it. And
Yeah.
Frank Zappa says, "Watch that guy up front. He's trying to get everyone involved. He knows what he's doing, whatever the hell he's doing. Like, just watch him.
Right.
Just watch him." And I'm like, "Okay, now you just lost control of it all." I mean, it's just like, you know. So
Yeah.
there is a bit of amateurish angle on that part, but it is good. It is good. And
Yeah.
if you want an entry point, I would say go with this concert or go with Roxy the movie.
Yeah. I think Roxy the movie might be a little more difficult to find, but and so I don't know, given that if it's cheaper, but again, this is from a pretty huge Zappa fan of this era, kind of talking that this is, although it's kind of a holy grail because it shows Frank really just getting down and playing his butt off, and it's great to see George Duke messing with everything as he does. Napoleon Murphy Brock is a great performer. Watching Ruth Underwood play is just mind melting how she's able to pull off what she does. But there's just better representations out there of this band. But
Yeah.
again, this is a very fair entry point.
Yeah. And just so you know, guys out there watching, if you do want to get a copy of Roxy the movie, you can get it on Amazon for something like 36.99. Uh,
Okay.
um, yeah. So, but yeah, I do like the concert. I would rather listen to it on the CDs rather than watching the concert on Blu-ray.
Hmm.
Uh,
Okay.
just yeah. I think that I think it translates better for me, personally speaking. This is just my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, but I think it translates better for me on CD than it does on Blu-ray.
Okay.
Just this performance in particular. I mean, uh, my honest opinion, Roxy the movie buries this.
Hmm.
It
Have you
buries
seen
this.
uh have you seen Token of My Extreme?
No, I have not, which I probably should. I probably should see that. Uh,
It's
is
it's it's really good. There are some elements of the claymation in there that kind of uh, obscure the proceedings, shall we say?
okay.
Which is again kind of a wrinkle face result from me, but it's the same sessions that yielded much of the One Size Fits All album. So
Okay.
that's kind of the level that they were playing at that Token of My Extreme show.
Okay. And okay. forgive my ignorance, you can get this on Blu-ray or DVD, Token of my Extreme.
Yeah, it's at least a DVD, and then
Okay.
they've later released it on audio CD as well.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna definitely look it
So
up.
maybe
Thank you.
the thing to do is just get the audio CD because then you don't have to worry about the claymation stuff.
I'm okay with the claymation stuff. I'm just saying that I'm very emphatic. I'm just saying flat out. I don't need to see a bird take a shit.
Well, it depends on the bird
You know what
and
I
depends
mean?
on the output. It may be such gargantuan variety that it staggers the imagination, and one has to experience it, seeing it.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this show has gone off the rails. Okay. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Frank Zappa is cheaper than cheap. Please pick it up if you don't already have it. And if you do know of the show and you do have an opinion of it one way or another, please put it down in the comments below.
Put it
You see,
down.
you got me talking about bird shit. That's the problem here, okay?
Put it
So
down,
please
Armando,
put
with
down
your
your
bad
comments
self.
below and yeah, let us know what you think. You can get this again by the time this show airs. You can get this either through his website, Frank Zappa's website, which they have a limit of four per order that you can get,
Okay.
or you can get this through Amazon.ca, Amazon.com for as low as 67.99. So please check that out. And again, I want to thank Jim for joining me on this special live album spotlight edition. And through all the twists and turns that it took, and I'm talking about bird shit and all that. And please click like and subscribe, and do hit the notification bell as well to keep yourselves on top of any new content we got coming up. And speaking of new content, we have
Yes.
a new series that we're working on, or I should say, Bill, Ken, and Jim are working on, called Going for the One. That we are going to be looking at our favorite 30 debut albums. Both, all three, I was going to say both, all three, Jim, Ken, and Bill have been working on their lists, and I will be hosting those series of episodes, and they're coming up in September for the entire month of September. So please stay tuned for that. That is going to be a mammoth undertaking and an ass
Do you,
burner of a show.
do you want to hear what my choices are?
No, not
Okay,
now.
good. I wasn't going to tell you anyway.
There you go. There you
Keep
go.
it a surprise.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. I've seen your list, so I won't even go there, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, again, please stay tuned for that. And again, please look after yourselves and one another, and we'll see you soon on the Music Den. Bye for now.